Hi, welcome back. Now we're going to do the inside of Unit 1820. But before we start on the inside, I want to talk about something that I didn't talk about before while we were outside. This is a 15 amp adapter. This little adapter will plug onto your 30 amp power cord. So for example, if you weren't leaving until the next day and you wanted to plug the RV up at your home and keep the fridge cold, keep the battery charged, and save you propane, you plug this onto your 30 amp cord and then connect an extension cord onto this. You can run everything inside the RV on this 15 amp adapter except for the air conditioner. If you try to run the air conditioner, it needs 30 amps and you're going to keep tripping the breaker either at your house or in the RV. So only for anything except for the air conditioner. Alright. Over here we have your battery disconnect. You see this red light is on? That means that your 12 volt power is on. There's no reason to shut this off. If you were going to put this away in storage, you would turn that off. Also down here, you have a button for the step. If you want the step to stay out all the time instead of opening and closing as the door opens and closes, you can just shut that off. And then over here you have your fire extinguisher. And then you have this outlet down there. That's for the furnace. Over here you have a couple of light switches. One is for the outside porch light, and the other one is for the inside overhead light. And then you have your control for your air conditioning as well as your furnace. It's pretty simple. This button that says you're on and off, you turn it on, then you got a mode selector, and then it's going to move from furnace to cool and so forth. And that's how that would work. And then over here you have your temperature settings. If you set this at 65 degrees, it's never going to get to 65 degrees unless you're somewhere really cold. So you have to kind of keep that in mind, because what you do, you'll end up just freezing the coils. Alright? Over here you have your refrigerator. Your refrigerator will already be on and cold when you come to pick up the RV, but the way this works, you have this on and off switch, and that turns it off and on, and then you have this mode selector, and you push it and you would move it to either electric or you move it to propane. And the best thing to do is put on automatic, and that way it automatically knows what to run on. So right now we're plugged into electricity and it's going to run on electricity. Take away the electricity, it's going to switch to propane. And then, like I said, we talked about the mode, and then we got the temperature setting. And from 1 to 5, 6, 7, basically that's the coldest setting right there. The way this opens, you put your hand at the bottom and you pull it and you open the freezer. And when these refrigerators are cooling, they start from the freezer down. So if you turn this on and you come out here an hour later and you put your hand in the bottom part, you're going to realize, hey, it's not getting cold. Well, what you really need to do is just come to the freezer, open it up, put your hand on the bottom of the freezer floor, and then you'll feel it getting cold, because it starts from the top down and it takes about 7 hours for it to get to its maximum operating temperature. And then when you open up the refrigerator, the same way. When you close these doors, make sure you hear that snap so they won't fly open on you when you're going down the road. Okay, over here you have a little accordion door here for privacy. You pull this across and it hooks on here, and then you have a little switch over here in the wall for your light in the hallway. And then over here at your shower, you have this little latch, and make sure you always have that latch when you're driving down the road so the shower door won't swing open and break. So you pop that open there, and then over here in your shower, it's just like at home. You have the hot and the cold. Left is hot and right is cold, just like in your house. 6 gallons of hot water. When you turn on the hot water heater, it's about a 20-minute delay before you have hot water. So put this back over here and latch it. Back here you have a lot of storage. You have hanging clothes up here. You have a TV back there that's connected to the DVD player up front, and another hanging closet, and then you have some drawers, and then over here is your breaker box. Right here you would twist this thing like so, and you open it up, and then here are all your breakers, and here are all your fuses, okay? Just like in a car, regular fuse like in a car. And then over here you have your vent for the furnace. You have a vent overhead that you can set for temperature, and it is not covered, so if you do have this thing open trying to get some fresh air in here, remember to always close it, because if you don't and it rains, it's going to rain right down inside. And these are all your air conditioning vents over there. You have a couple of night lights there on each side of the bed, and then you have the day-night shades. If you notice, on this window right here, this is going to be your emergency exit. You see the 2 red handles? You turn those handles in, and that window swings out, and you can climb out of that window if you had to exit in a hurry there. And of course, this is a slide out here. The room is out. Over here you have the button that brings the slide out room in and out, and then over here you have your light switch. Okay? Make sure no one's sitting on the bed or laying on the bed when you bring the room in, because it's already heavy enough, and then that extra strain on the weight, extra weight on the motor could damage the slide out. Okay. So we're going to go ahead to the restroom here. inside of the restroom here, you're going to have a couple of things. Well, there's your toilet there, of course, and some toilets are handles and some have a foot control. So basically what you do is you step on that control just a little bit, and then that puts water in the bowl, and you step all the way, and that flushes the toilet. And then over here you have a GFI breaker, and then you have a tank heater. If this were winter, you need to keep your tanks heated, keep them from freezing. That's what that's for. And then you got your light switch there. Okay. Inside of here you will have 4 rolls of toilet tissue and 2 miles of chemicals. And then you have storage over here. And then you have another vent that you can crank open to let fresh air in. Just remember to close those. And if you want to turn that fan on, just push that little button right there, and that will make the fan pull any air or whatever out of the bathroom there. Down here you have a propane detector that sniffs out different scents in the air. Propane, any kind of strong scent is going to pick up an alarm. There's a couple reasons why that thing will go off. If it smells something, it's going to go off, or if your house battery, which I showed you outside in that compartment, starts to get low, then this is going to go off to let you know that your battery is getting weak. Over here you have your stove, and this stove has what I call a sparkerator. You turn it to light, and you do that knob, and that lights the stove. Once again, like so, that lights the stove. And that's how the stove would work. This does not have an oven here, but it does have a convection oven up here, and pretty much it works like anything else. You can either microwave something, or you can bake something on the convection oven. Okay, and then you have storage over here, and then you have your sink, and of course you have your hot, and then you have your sprayer and so forth. Okay, you have storage along here, and this is a sofa sleeper, like the one you may have in your home. You remove the 3 bottom cushions, and then you pick the bed up and you unfold out. It comes all the way out here and it makes it to a full-size bed there, and then you lay your sheets on it and so forth. This dinette will also convert into a twin-size sleeper. What you would do is you remove the cushions, all 4, just remove them. You grab the table and you keep pulling on it, and then it'll come off of the poles that you see underneath. Once you have the table off, you pull the poles out of the floor and lay them down on the floor, and then this table will fit right down in here and it'll fill in this little square here. Once it's down in there and fills in that square, then you take all your cushions and you lay them flat, and it makes a little twin-size bed. Okay, when you bring this room out, there's one thing you need to remember. You need to always make sure that the side entry door is closed when you either bring it in or out, because this entry door gets really close to the slide-out room, and you could get it hung in between there. The way it's designed, it'll happen. So remember to shut this door each time you bring this room in or out. Over here you have your TV antenna, and most folks want to grab this antenna to crank it up. It's going to be like a big T, and it sits almost 4 feet high in the air. So if you don't want to break this off, it's a good idea to kind of work this antenna just like this, like the way I'm doing it. You crank it all the way up, and once it's fully extended, like I said, it's going to be about 4 feet tall. And when you have it all the way up, if you're watching the reception on your TV, now you may not be able to get TV depending on everywhere you are, but I'm not sure. But if you're in an area where you can get reception, you can crank this thing up, and once you have it fully extended, you can pull down on that a little bit, and you can rotate that antenna around to improve the picture. And if you notice, you got this point here and that point there. Well, in order to get this antenna to sit flush back on the roof like when you started, you need to line that up right up under there and get her lined up. And once you do, then you can crank it back down. And you keep cranking it until she stops. And that's how the antenna would work. In this compartment here, there's several things, but before I tell you, before I open this up, once again, if this room is out, or in rather, if this room is in, make sure this compartment door is closed, because this can swing open and it'll get hung on the back side of this room, and then when you take the room out, it will bust this compartment door right off. So make sure this is closed before you do anything with that room also. So anyway, once we get inside here, there's a couple of things here we're going to talk about. Number one, here's your DVD player here. And if you wanted to watch a movie, you just get your remote control, and there they are on the table there, all 4 remote controls. You grab your remote control for the one that says TV is the ViewSonic, and you would just change, you know, to where from the input to DVD or whatever, and then you'd be able to watch a movie. Over here you got a couple of things. First of all, you got the hot water heater. It works on electric, or the hot water heater works on propane. and you can decide which one, not both, one or the other. And then over here you've got your controls that make these slide out rooms come in and out. Okay, and then over here, this is your monitor panel. It says LPG, that's your liquid propane. It shows you how much is in there from empty to full. It shows the battery condition, shows the fresh water. It shows what's in your black tank, which is your toilet, and it shows what's in your gray tank, which is a sink and the shower water. And then over here, you've got your hours counter meter for the generator. In order to start the generator, we did that on the outside, but let me show you on the inside. Basically what you do is you push stop, and you're priming it like I talked about, and the light comes on, and then the next thing you want to do is hit the generator start. Now your generator is running. When it's running, that'll be lit up just like that. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. It's perfectly safe to run the generator when you're going down the road, because that's what you'll need to have electricity being created inside the coach. Okay? So that's how your generator works. But remember, you always need to prime it first. Okay? And then we've got this cover. In case you're wondering, what do we do to block this off, to block the sun out, to block people for the privacy? Basically, what you do is, you've got this cover here, and you've got Velcro under here. So you move this seat forward, and you are going to open this up, and it's going to Velcro right around onto the front along the windshield line here, and you close that off for privacy. And you'll figure it out. Once you start to mess with this, you'll see exactly how it goes on there. It's pretty simple. You just see everywhere there's Velcro, and then you just stick it in place. All right. Up here, we are at the cockpit of the RV. There's a couple of things here we're going to talk about. You've got a little couple of outlets here to plug in your cell phones. Here are your controls for the air conditioner. This button here turns your radio off and on. And this also is a rear camera. So when your radio is on, there's this one button here that shows arrows up and down. When you push that button and hold it, it is going to make this screen come out and fall in place, and now you have your rear camera. People, let me tell you, if you do need to back up, please do not use this rear camera. Have a spotter back there showing you how far to come, because if you do, just go ahead and have a spotter, and then you should be okay. All right. Over here you have tilt wheel, you have power mirrors and heated mirrors. Your parking brake release is here, and then once again we talked about the emergency switch for the emergency start, and then your mirrors and your power door locks. That's pretty much it up here. I think we pretty much covered everything in here. You've got a smoke detector overhead here, and then these are your air conditioning vents we talked about, and they're situated throughout the coach. Okay. You've got some speakers back here that are hooked into the radio, into the surround sound system that you have up front. I believe that's it. Thank you very much, and have a good trip.